between you and you. Before we start, arrive. Not just physically, actually arrive. Close your eyes if that feels okay. Notice your feet. Whether they're on the floor or tucked underneath you, just feel them. Now your hands. Let them go heavy. Stop holding them in any particular way. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Let your face go slack. You don't need to hold an expression right now. One breath in. And out. Good. You're here. Before we start tonight, I want to explain something briefly. Because this session is going to ask you to talk about something most couples argue about without ever actually understanding. Triggers. That word gets thrown around a lot, so let me be specific about what I mean. A trigger is when something your partner does, usually something small, sometimes something completely reasonable, sets off a reaction in you that's bigger than the moment deserves. They check their phone while you're talking, and you feel a wave of rage. They forget to text you back, and you spiral into, "They don't care about me." They make a joke and you shut down for an hour. They offer help and you feel patronized. They need space and you feel abandoned. The size of the reaction doesn't match the size of the event. And that's because the reaction isn't really about the event. It's about something older, something from before this relationship. Your partner just happens to be standing in the spot where the old wound is. And here's where it gets tricky in relationships. Your partner has their own set of triggers. And sometimes your triggers and their triggers interlock perfectly. Like two puzzle pieces designed to make each other miserable. You pull away because closeness feels suffocating. They chase because distance feels like rejection. Or you get loud because silence feels like being ignored. They shut down because raised voices feel like danger. Neither of you is wrong. You're both just reacting to old scripts. Tonight, we're going to try something different. Instead of arguing about the surface, who forgot what, who said what, who started it, you're going to go one layer deeper and show each other where the reaction actually comes from. This requires vulnerability, and it requires the person listening to do something very hard. Hear their partner's pain without trying to fix it, defend against it, or make it about themselves. Let's begin. I want each of you to think of one thing your partner does that triggers a reaction in you that feels too big. Not a list of complaints, one thing. And I want you to describe the behavior, just the behavior, not a character judgment. Not you're selfish. More like when you look at your phone while I'm talking to you. Not you don't care about me. More like when I ask how your day was and you give me a one-word answer. One person goes first. Describe the behavior. The other person listens. No responding yet. Now switch. Same prompt. Describe one behavior that triggers an outsized reaction in you. Thank you both. That was the easy part. You've probably told each other these things before. Maybe in the middle of an argument, maybe not this calmly. But you've likely heard each other's triggers before. The next round is the part you probably haven't done. Same trigger you just named. But now I want you to go underneath it. Finish this sentence. When you do that, the story I tell myself is, this is where the real thing lives. When you look at your phone while I'm talking, the story I tell myself is that I'm not interesting enough to hold your attention. When you give me a one-word answer, the story I tell myself is that you wish you were somewhere else. And then I want you to add, and that story is familiar because. This is the hard part. This is where you connect the trigger to something older. Maybe a parent who never listened, a friend who abandoned you, a version of yourself that was told you were too much. One person goes first. Take your time. The other person's only job is to listen and say, "Thank you for telling me that," when they're done. Now switch. What just happened if you both actually went there is one of the most significant things two people can do for each other. You just showed your partner the wound underneath the argument, not the complaint, the wound. And the person listening just learned that their partner's reaction was never really about the phone, or the text, or the tone of voice. It was about a much older story that got activated. Here's what I want you to take from this. You don't have to fix each other's triggers. You can't, actually. They belong to the person who carries them, and the work of healing them is ultimately individual work. But knowing about them changes everything. Because the next time your partner has an outsized reaction, you'll have a choice. You can react to the surface, match their energy, defend yourself, escalate. Or you can remember what they just told you and think, oh, this isn't about me. This is about that thing. They're not attacking me. They're protecting a wound. That one beat of understanding, that half second where you choose to see the wound instead of the weapon, that's what changes relationships. You don't have to be perfect at this. You'll forget. You'll get triggered yourself. You'll react before you remember. That's fine. This isn't a test you pass once. It's a practice. But tonight, you both know something new about each other. And that can't be unknown. Take a moment together. Whatever feels right, hold hands, sit in silence, or just look at each other and let what just happened settle. Thank you both. This was a special moment for you both, and thank you for showing up for each other.